Hello and welcome. In this lecture, we'll be discussing the Fourth Amendment. Before we discuss any further, it is crucial to understand or remember that the Fourth Amendment is part of the Bill of Rights. The Bill of Rights is or comprises the 10 amendments to the United States Constitution. Now, saying that, let's move into the Fourth Amendment proper. Originally, the Fourth Amendment was enforced in the notion that each man's home is his castle. Therefore, the amendment was aimed at securing the home of the person from any unreasonable searches and seizures by the government. So the Constitution, through the Fourth Amendment, protects people from any unreasonable searches and seizures. However, it is key to remember that only searches that are deemed unreasonable in their nature fall under the Fourth Amendment rule. The text of the Fourth Amendment in the Constitution states the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable search and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrants shall issue but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. As you can see, based on the text, the highlights to unreasonable searches and seizures, probable cause, oath and affirmation, and particularly are key in decoding the Fourth Amendment text. As a brief history, the Fourth Amendment had only been applied to federal law and not state or municipal governments. And up until the 1960s, that the Supreme Court started to use the Due Process Clause of the 14th Amendment. That's when the Fourth Amendment was then or started being used uh, for both state and federal governments. Now, usually, whenever there is an issue with the Fourth Amendment and police, a question that is asked is whether the police comply with the Fourth Amendment during arrest, or whether the evidence obtained by the police comply with the Fourth Amendment rules. Any evidence obtained that is in violation of the Fourth Amendment rights is excluded. And this is what is called the exclusionary rules. So the exclusionary rules prohibit the admissibility of evidence that is in violation to the respective Fourth Amendment. However, it is crucial to first of all understand that not all actions fall under the umbrella of the Fourth Amendment. In order for an action or an actor to be considered as a violator of the Fourth Amendment, they have to be a government actor. Therefore, only government action falls or is capable of violating the Fourth Amendment rule. That means that private individuals' violation in terms of search or seizures of other persons do not fall under the umbrella of the Fourth Amendment. Therefore, distinction between government and private action is key. A government action is done by a public official on their official capacity on behalf of the government. However, an individual acting also as an instrument or agent of the government can be considered to be acting on behalf of the government or under government action. Government action is also possible when someone seizes or searches another person, and they're doing that because they have the authority of the government or by a administrative regulation. Now, private action does not fall under the tenets of the government action. For example, any action that is self initiated by a person, individual, in their own capacity does not involve or mean that the government is involved. For example, if someone called Tony decides to search another person who has drugs in his bag, because that action has been carried out by Tony himself, that action does not fall under the tenets of government action. However, if going back to our previous example, if Tony acts as an informant to the government and he searches another person and finds that person with drugs, and Tony informs the government, say through an organization such as the FBI, that the other person has been found with drugs, that qualifies as a government action.